producers or the producer, for example, Matthew or John Stephenson as a creative consultant, and you mentioned their connection with the lady. Give us an insight as to how the team as a whole, from all these different backgrounds, we've had Muslims, of course, working on this film, from all sects, or from various sects, let's say, and we've had Christians and I don't know if there were Jews alike, and there were, of course, non-believers, as in atheists or agnostics. How did they all holistically resonate with the lady's character and her story as a whole?
Yeah, so I can comment holistically, and then I can even give you a story I think that will really hit home in this regard. But generally, the experience I had is always this like sense of fascination people have, and a very genuine fascination. Whenever people start to understand the story of the lady, I remember speaking to some of the cast members as well during the London shooting. The character of Omar as well, the actor of Omar, and various other ones as well, and they were just fascinated by her story. I don't know. It's just you know, when they understand the lady, it's like something sits right for them. It's like they accept the lady. There's no friction about, you know, because there's the negative light on Islam that we have today, and we have all these. You know, this propaganda against Muslims, and the West is very much affected by it. But when it comes to the lady and her story, it's like something natural. They can take it in, and they find this fascination about her and her character, and even to the point of one of the actors, I forget which one, was telling me how, you know, I start thinking about the women in the West, and I'm looking at the lady, and I'm looking at our culture, and it's making me think about how we deal, like, even to this kind of deeper thoughts, let's say, which the lady is inspiring them to think about. It's like making them reflective about what it's obviously there's the story of the lady and her sacrifice, and you know, the link between terrorism. This is a core message that we want people to get, but it goes even deeper to how we're living our lives, in the Western world. I got this from some people, but I want to bring one story as well to wrap up on this point, if you wouldn't mind, on Craig Pruis. Yes. And he's the one I didn't speak about, but he's tied to this question. Because he's out of everyone, he's probably the one I felt he had the strongest connection with the lady by a lot. I had the role of communicating with Craig during the composition period. So feedback that a team had, I'd have to give it to him, back and forth. And obviously, I think it's known that we put 101 restrictions, as we obviously would need to. You know, basically no instruments other than a few specific war instruments, and, you know, vocals, synthesis, and, you know, specific restrictions that are in line with the religion. And so he had an impossible task from the beginning, very, very difficult task. And as any creative person does, you know, they take on jobs that challenge them, and he done that, and you could tell he was really challenged by this and really struggled at times. But that's the beautiful thing about him, because he was ready for that challenge. So as a part of that journey, and my role in communicating with him, it's trying to bounce ideas back and get him to think about things in the way that we want them. Obviously, there's a certain vision about the film. You know, we need the sound to match the lady and her presence. It's, you know, the film has a feeling. We need it in that way. So I have to bounce ideas back with him. And a lot of times he's trying to figure out. He's struggling. And then it got to a point where he started telling me that, Malik, you know, I'm calling the lady to help me. He used to tell me this, like, I want the lady to inspire me. And that kept developing over time. Every time I'm on a call with him, you know, throwing ideas back, and he's telling me, you know, Malik, one time he told me, you know, Malik, today I sat down and I actually prayed to the lady. I called out to her, and suddenly I felt inspired. I felt this inspiration, and I went straight to my studio, and I started, and he brought results. I could see the results. They're like, there's a feeling about it, the way he's doing it. And then it developed further where I'm in a position where I'm giving him dua of Ahlul Bayt, a certain dua from the lady herself, and he's going away reading it, and he went with it. He got lost in this realm of the lady. Yeah, wow. He fell in love. This man fell in love with the lady. He fell in love with the lady for sure, and the results prove it. When you sit in cinema, because the worry in the beginning was that people are going to sit there and feel like, hey, what's this weird sound? It's not cinema sound. But that doesn't happen. You go sit there, it's all halal, it's in line with what the restrictions, but you don't feel anything. You feel like I'm in a real film here. It's a cinematic score that he's put together.
Wow, what a fascinating insight this was.
Yeah, it's really
uplifting to see that a non-Muslim generally has really resonated with that story that much to ask the lady herself to assist him in making her project or her story become in the most beautiful way that it can be.
Yeah.
Very